how dollar stores quietly consumed America. I don't know if this is going to be 100% trash, but it will be interesting. I mean,
to a certain slightly uninformed expert, this dollar
like I don't know if Wendover Productions good or bad. Never heard of it.
General in Faith, South Dakota would seem an economic impossibility disproven only by its existence. Faith is a tiny place, a remote, no stoplight prairie town of 367. It's got a couple of gas stations and a couple of inns and restaurants and an auto parts store, but what it doesn't have is a single nationwide brand. It doesn't have a single branch of any store, restaurant, or service that exists beyond the region around, except for Dollar General.
So this is normal. Like where I grew up, like it was 35 minutes to something like that. 45 minutes by car. About 15 minutes to the town that we had a little place that's no longer in business. It was called Rick's, and it was just a mom and pop place that went out of business long ago.
But that
they do have a Dollar General in town now.
Doesn't explain the full extent of the anomaly, because Dollar General isn't just the only chain in Faith, it's the only chain in a 45-minute radius until one arrives at this Dairy Queen in the far larger 3,000-person tribal capital of Eagle Butte.
Now that's way more remote than I lived, though. We had other stuff like like now there's a McDonald's. When I grew up, there wasn't.
A 367-person population just isn't typically enough to attract a nationwide brand. There's just not enough money in the area to make capturing it attractive, and yet somehow, Dollar General makes it work. While perhaps an extreme example, there's no secret about Faith. It's not some tourist mecca, it's not an interstate oasis, it does sit at the intersection between a state and US highway, but it's not on the fastest route between any two cities. So this store, somehow, is sustained by the tiny community that surrounds it. This is anomalous in the context of national retailers, but not in the context of Dollar General. They're consistently persistent in places simply too small for other chains. Its next nearest location to the north is in a town of 1,200, to the east 1,100, and to the south and west 540 and 590 respectively. Walmart is also one of the most regular retailers in rural America.
I fucking hate Walmart, dude. Do you remember the last time you walked into a Walmart and felt like you didn't want to hurry the fuck out of there? Like when we go to Meijer, which is sort of like Walmart but much nicer here in the Midwest, especially Michigan, we take our time. It's nice. It's a nice time, you know. But in Walmart, I always want to get the fuck out of there as soon as I even get into the parking lot.
America, but they don't even come close to these numbers. There's no way to know for sure which are
I could spend all day in Walmart, but I'm trashy.
lowest traffic stores, and therefore what the minimum population that can
I don't feel safe or comfortable in Walmart.
Support their economics is, but by letting the quantity of Google reviews act as an imperfect proxy.
And it's the store, not the fucking people. I mean, the people are definitely part of it. Walmart attracts all kinds, but it is not that. It is the store itself and like how they operate. Although that said, Meijer is getting, I mean, they have like fucking anti-theft cameras now in the self-checkout thing that are really finicky. Like Sarah took her phone off the cart and put it in her pocket and like ding ding. It was like, I'm fucking tired of this shit, dude.
Their location in Gunnison emerges as Colorado's least popular location. 6,700 live within a 20-minute driving radius of this store, but revenue is likely buoyed by its positioning at the start of the dead-end highway up to the tourist town of Crested Butte. Similarly, Wyoming's least popular Walmart is its outpost in Rawlins, with a 6,300-person population within the same radius, but once again, its revenue is likely boosted by its location along Interstate 80. So perhaps the best evidence of the minimum population to support the retailer's economics comes from Alaska, where its least popular store sits on the island of Kodiak. 8,700 people live within a 20-minute radius, and there's clearly no interstate traffic coming through. Walmart revolutionized retail through its ability to turn a profit in small remote communities like Kodiak. Its impact decimated the American Main Street, but Dollar General has taken that to a new extreme. Where Walmart entrenches itself in the thousands, Dollar General deals in the hundreds. This revolutionary retail concept starts on the inside.
Dude, I feel like if you had like Bastier come in here, he'd be like, and then look at the bounties that Dollar General delivers to these underserved communities.
Total staff
The 99-cent bag of donuts.
headcount at a given location typically sits between 6 and 10, and of those, just 2 or 3 might work at a given time. Given typical hourly rates and typical opening hours, that means Dollar General can spend as little as $300 to $400 a day staffing their lowest traffic stores. Then there's product offering complexity. A Walmart averages 140,000 unique products. They'll sell Coke in 10-count mini cans, 30-count mini cans, 12-count full-size cans, 24-count full-size cans, 12-count mini bottles, 6-count full-size bottles, 12-count full-size bottles, 1-count 2-liter bottles,
We need all of it. We need the Coca-Cola.
4-count 4-liter bottles, and then they'll offer all these
In
sizes
higher
for
quantities.
Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Cherry Coke, and then they'll offer
We
this
do need more Diet Coke, though.
same spread for every other soda brand and its variants, which is incredibly convenient. They have the exact soda, variant, bottle size, type, and quantity that any given person wants, but the permutations really add up. More individual products require a more complex supply chain, more floor space, and added staffing dedicated to organization, which adds to cost for the retailer. Dollar General, meanwhile, keeps it simple. They offer just 10,000 unique products, but they do this primarily not by reducing how many product categories they sell, but rather the optionality within each category.
Optionality.
In a way, they're trying to
That sounds made up. Nope. They count it. It counts as a word. Optionality. It sounds like a word you would just make up because you're like, well, it's not quite. It sounds like a word of convenience. Optionality. Yeah, sure. Optionality is a word. Optionality is more made up than other words are. You know what I mean?
to be a mini Walmart, offering a one-stop shop experience.
How many options you have. How option-y is it? Its optionality is what it describes.
As long as you're willing to compromise on brand, size, quality, or quantity of a given product.
Quality,
so
mark on quality.
Walmart has a pan or toilet paper or detergent aisle. Dollar General has a pan, a toilet paper, or a detergent. Now, Walmart is likely able to purchase Tide detergent from Procter & Gamble for a fairly low price because it's the largest retailer in the world and therefore has very strong negotiating power. If it were to stop stocking Tide, P&G's revenues would take an enormous hit. But correspondingly, given the popularity of Tide, Walmart could take a hit if consumers decided to go to Target to buy the brand instead. Dollar General, meanwhile, has that same enormous negotiating power with their same enormous size, but crucially, they don't have to stock everything. Walmart's competitive advantage is that they're the definitive one-stop shop.
Dude, the way capitalism is like, hey, how do you wriggle into this little crack? How do you wriggle into this little crack? Ooh, now you get to be the Tide detergent guy. Like, do we, as a society, do we need Tide detergent? You know what I mean? Like, can we agree that this isn't even a thing we need to have, like, a market for? You know what I mean? We all need to wash our clothes. What if we just, there's good stuff. Have some options, man. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy the things they want to nickel and dime you for. Like, there's stuff out here that's like creative, and it's like, okay, yeah, it makes sense that you want to charge money for that. Oh, you're making really good food. Ooh, you have a unique automobile. You have a fucking, I don't know, your video game. Your I don't know, all sorts of shit. Fucking just. Certainly, a corporation that has the resources like, say, Procter & Gamble could, instead of pursuing raw profit for the sake of it, shouldn't the place that we're doing that business is like, this is so fucking foreign to a capitalist. Like, what's best for all of us? Is it to scramble to find your niche in the detergent sales game, or can we be like, okay, here's good detergent, here's a variety of scents because, you know, we like stuff, and then, like, it's what works. It's just like one of these small things where they spend a lot of time on this. Yeah. Crazy.
They combine the local supermarket, hardware, electronics, home goods, and clothing.
Like if you were in charge of America, and you could be like, okay, let's run this shit efficiently, and you were to turn all the dials, right? Like it was an RPG or something. You were to turn all the dials, like it was your little spaceship, and you're like, okay, well, we got to ensure people have like, you know, personal privacy and freedom and stuff like that. How do we get all this and also be efficient? You would not have capitalism the way it is constructed. You would not have markets for fucking everything. To get so fucking granular, you just wouldn't need it. You don't need it. And the only reason they do is because people, the system that they're in, America, like we have the resources, but instead we're just like, well, if you don't make staples for the discount bra salesman, then then you can't live. You got to go work at the staple factory or the pickle factory, seasonally actually. You know, it's just so fucking lame.
Stores into one. Dollar General's competitive advantage is that they're the shop. They are the only game in town, and so they just need to offer one brand of laundry detergent, and that's the detergent people will get. This bestows enormous negotiating leverage. Manufacturers will bend to their whims in order to become the Dollar General detergent supplier, meaning
Quebeca, thank you so much for giving a shoddy box.
They might be able to get a similar or even better deal from P&G on detergent pricing than even Walmart.
Dude, that detergent looks pretty watery.
That's what leads to products like this. Dollar General's $1 Tide brand detergent. To balance the retailer's need for a low-cost offering with their desire to maintain a premium name brand image, Procter & Gamble has gone out of their way to manufacture a $1 Tide detergent bottle. Now, Walmart actually sells this same product for less. Their 128 fluid ounce size works out to under 12 cents per load, almost half
12 cents per load.
Half of Dollar General's 20 cents per, but Dollar General's target consumer is one who is severely cash-strapped.
And so we need to suck them dry. We couldn't give them a value. No.
Cater to the class of consumers that might want to spend $10 on bulk detergent that will last for months, but chooses the $1 option regardless to keep enough cash on hand to pay rent before their next payday.
Mm-hmm. And we do recognize that all people need to have a standard of hygiene for themselves to stay happy and clean and healthy.
So Dollar General actually charges more per load, and even better, their consumer will want to come back sooner than Walmart's to buy a refill, at which time they'll also buy whatever else they need, therefore extracting more revenue.
Yup.
But Dollar General's true strategic linchpin is the most anomalous aspect of its business model: its remote locations. The retailer has turned what would be a weakness for others into the core of its strength. It starts with cost.
Dollar General, the Vimes boot theory.
Rent at this store in North Creek, New York is $118,000 a year, at this store in Sullivan, Maine, $103,000 a year, and at that Faith, South Dakota location, $106,000 a year. That works out to between $300 and $400 in rent per day, which, added to their $300 or $400 in daily staffing costs, underpins Dollar.
They only spend $300 to $400 a day in staffing.
General's ability to run a store with under $1,000 of overhead per day. In general, they just won't set up a location in a place where they'll have to pay over $150,000 or so in annual rent. It just breaks their low-cost business model. But low rent costs are far from the key that unlocks rural America. Rather, remoteness itself enables their remoteness.
Yeah.
Take their location in Haven, Kansas. This is a town of 1,170 that simply does not have a grocery store. They have a gas station and a liquor store and a coffee shop and diner, but they don't have a...
Okay, so, but these stores used to be things that they just weren't corporation owned. They'd be like a guy from the community owned this. You know what I mean? And it was still happening. We still had stores. You know what I mean? Like we don't need to sell this to corporations.
Grocery store. Dollar General is not a grocery store, but their locations do stock shelf-stable dry goods and frozen food, and some sell a limited supply of perishables. The closest dedicated grocery store is a full 10-minute drive away in the next town, and it's small, not one that could necessarily fulfill all of a person's needs. The closest supermarket is a full 22 minutes away in the city of Hutchinson, so what happens in practice when Dollar General enters a market like Haven is that rather than making that 10 or 22-minute trip, people shop out of the local Dollar General for regular day-to-day needs, then make less frequent trips to the distant grocery store for fresh and specialty items. But increasingly, this pattern isn't confined to Dollar General, and it isn't confined to rural America either. This is Atlanta, Georgia, and the surrounding cities, suburbs, and communities that comprise much of...
Love this. We love this. And this. And this. Now why are we doing that?
The broader Atlanta metro area. This is a map of their most common grocery stores: Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Lidl, Publix, Kroger, and Walmart. They all do the same thing. They all trend north and east. But people live here too, and they too need food to eat and stores to buy food to eat. For anyone, this would make grocery shopping more of a pain than it already is. Making things more difficult though, this gap of grocery stores is also home to the metro area's least mobile, as these census tracts contain, in the words of the USDA's Food Access Atlas, more than 100 households with no access to a vehicle and are more than a half mile from the nearest supermarket.
Oof.
Unsurprisingly, this correlates closely with tracts that are...
And then when leftists say, like, you know what, we should it would be nice if we didn't organize our communities around the automobile specifically, and moving forward we should be encouraging people to have walkable spaces to be in. And for some reason, when you say the word walkable, they have some kind of psyop shit going on in their head, and I don't understand it.
Or low income, as all these areas have a poverty rate of over 20% or a median family income of less than 80% of the median income for the state or metro area. Put together, Atlanta residents with the least money and least mobility are the farthest from supermarkets. Now, of course, it's not a simple coincidence that some of the poorest and least mobile populations of Atlanta are farthest from supermarkets. These, after all, are areas still grappling with the legacy of redlining in the past, and areas that some academics have identified as current instances of supermarket redlining. The process by which businesses intentionally keep their distance from such areas for reasons that vary from crime rate and purchasing power to zoning restrictions and unfavorable street layouts. But regardless of their reasons, supermarkets simply don't exist in a large portion of the Atlanta metro area, creating an urban food desert. This is a void that
reselling is in capitalism, GPA boost. Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck? Production is not a prerequisite of operating within capitalism? Hello? Use your fucking brain, but do it through a fucking timeout. I can't. Please shut up. God, you're so fucking stupid every time, dude. Like... to just have your dumbass in my fucking chat from time to time, and you don't even have the decency to fucking subscribe to be a dumbass in my chat every fucking time. Ugh. We'll see how fucking long this lasts. God, you're so stupid. Derailing the fucking chat with dumbass shit again. Classic. Good God, dude.
Dollar stores have stepped
so fucking cucked
into. Unlike Atlanta supermarkets, dollar stores trend south and west, largely the areas left behind. And they provide an important service. They provide foodstuffs and basic home supplies at a low price point within walking distance or a manageable bus trip. This has happened in Atlanta, it's happened in Dallas, it's happened in New Orleans, and it's happened in a host of other major and minor American cities from Tulsa to Dayton. And in most of these urban cases, dollar stores effectively plug a hole that desperately needs to be plugged. It's for this reason that after some teenagers burned down a Dollar Tree in the city of Dayton in 2017, the community pleaded for it to be reopened. It's for this reason that the former New Orleans mayor celebrated the proliferation of dollar stores as the return of business investment in the city's East End post-Katrina.
Of course a fucking mayor would say that, though, because the only thing that... Dude, cities are fucking rackets, too. Like, they don't have to be. They can just be communities, but instead they're like, oh, we gotta make money. How about we just provide... The function of a city is not to make money. The function of a city is an organized fucking community of people. That's the function of a city. If things make money within the city, cool, I guess. If you've got to do the money thing. There's just no fucking reason for this. Oh my god, dude. I can't fucking stand these people. They're all so goddamn stupid. Wow, what a wonderful service to slowly bleed the lower class. Excellent.
But plugging a hole is not solving a problem. It's just an imperfect temporary fix, not one meant to last. That's because the impact of a dollar store in a food desert isn't neutral to the health of a community. It's outright negative. Most American food deserts aren't so different from, of all places, Haven, Kansas. They have a dollar store, and they have, or until recently had, at least one grocery store that carries shelf-stable foods, along with fresh produce and refrigerated meats and dairy products.
Uh-oh. But when the blood is all gone, and it will be, what's going to happen then, folks? Well, that mayor is now the senior advisor responsible for coordinating the implementation of Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, by the way. Oh, nay.
The products that are lower margin for the business, but lead to a more nutritious and diverse diet. Such stores are getting harder and harder to come by, but many of America's tiniest towns have, against all odds, resisted the massive Albertsons and Kroger-fueled grocery industry consolidation. Too small to be attractive for the supermarket chains, and are home to some of the country's last independent grocers, right-sized to fit the communities they serve, barely hanging on as the brutal economics of America's monopolistic food supply system push them over the edge. But their perilous economic...
Drives me fucking crazy, dude. I grew up in a farming town, and the local market folded. In a farm town. Had access to produce. We'd buy produce from there all the time. Priced out.
Economics become all but impossible with the arrival of a neighboring dollar store. In Haven, Kansas, this store was Food Liner, which, after the opening of the...
Hard to blame anyone for not subscribing if you call them an idiot. Well, they are a fucking idiot.
Dollar General saw its customer visits drop by nearly half, and after 3 years, saw its doors close for good. For any grocery store, it's typical for sales to drop by up to 30% when a dollar store is open nearby, as consumers head for canned soup, Frosted Flakes, Pop-Tarts, and the countless other shelf staples that are just a bit cheaper and a bit more convenient. This kills the grocery store that counts on such sales to justify carrying fresh produce, pushing them out of business. This, in turn, makes it more difficult to buy healthy, nutritious food, destroying the food desert's oasis, and putting people of modest means and mobility at a nutritional disadvantage.
Yeah, a huge problem. It's crazy how all the Dollar Generals are on this fucking exact building. They somehow managed to put them all on this very same brick rectangle.
And the impact of dollar stores on communities is broader than just what people eat. In early 2019, the Dayton Daily News reported on plans for a new Dollar General on the east side of town. It'd be taking the place of a now-closed grocery store, and it'd be the 70th dollar store within a 10-mile radius of downtown Dayton, Ohio. Like Atlanta, Dayton's dollar stores map closely along its most disadvantaged and downtrodden areas. Where their density is the highest is where poverty rates are the highest.
Everything wrong with the world is capitalism is simple analysis. Luckily, no one's making that analysis. Because that would be Just a straw man of the actual fucking topic, right?
Highest, and where their footprint is nearly zero, is the suburban communities of Kettering and
Nobody is, man. Like, literally no one is. So you're straw manning the fucking chat. Like, you do this dumb shit too, man. There's no fucking reason for that. Like, do you feel like you're gonna get a W here saying that used car salesmen don't operate within capitalism? You feel me? Like, is this really the fucking hill you're gonna try to die on here? You spend a lot of your nights here. You want to fucking find somewhere else, dude? Get the fuck out then. Go ahead. I don't care. Like, the fuck? Like, you just do not have to be a fucking dumbass all the time. Like, it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to maintain these fucking dumbass opinions. No one is saying that shit. You are fucking making that up in your head because you're a cuck. Literally fucking nobody is saying that. The thing that you don't fucking understand is that oftentimes it is actually fucking capitalism that is the fucking problem, and liberals like you don't fucking see that shit. And we go, here's why, here's the reason why, and you just don't fucking get it. Because you're all small-minded. Like, holy fucking shit. You spend enough fucking time here to absorb one goddamn thing. There's no reason. No reason to be this fucking ignorant all the time. It doesn't have to happen. Fucking, here's me strawmanning. Nobody said this thing. Here's me saying that, well, people are saying it. Because I can't interpret the fucking words people are saying. My reading comprehension is dog shit. That's actually the problem. Okay. Good fucking Lord, man. Liberals, bro. Fucking liberals. There's like something about liberals where it's like they always want to get credit for like, well, I'm a nice person, and then never show any fucking work, and never like never fucking like, well, I'm one of the good ones, guys. It's like, I don't know how to fucking describe to a liberal how truly disruptive they are to the things that they say that they're for because of the way they fucking act and think. They just do not understand anything. The ones who get elected. Yeah, man. Yes. It would be a shocking admission. Are you a big fan of Joe Biden, man? Like, what? He got elected. Everyone knows that Joe Biden got elected because he was a great candidate. And not because Donald Trump was a terrible one. Like, it's fucking crazy that you just don't understand anything. I'm good, man. Not worth it. You get all your subs gifted anyway.
Beaver Creek, where household incomes are higher and grocery stores far more
it's not
prevalent.
A big deal. I just can't. I can't, man. I can't fucking with any more fucking liberals today.
At the end of 2019, local news reported that there were 28 separate dollar store robberies in the Dayton area.
Good. Rob more of them. I once knew a liberal that told me laissez-faire capitalism is not true capitalism. Fucking stupid. Amazing.
Down from the high water mark of 32
GPA boost your fucking
2017, but up from 24 in 2018. Effectively, dollar stores here have become a hotbed for crime. Now, in the case of Dayton, it's not that dollar...
They should be victimized by crime. All corporations should be victimized by crime because they are the problem. They are the reason crime happens. That's the real trickle-down economics. The real trickle-down economics is corporations bleed everyone dry. Poor people have to exist because corporations have to. We get to pick one. Corporations or poor people. Well, corporations existing or no poor people existing. There's a fucking turmoil. Poor people respond by getting what they need from these fucking corporations, and then they get, you know, what they can sell, what they can make money off of. And it's like, yeah, good. Cannibalize them. Don't care. Eat them up. They're literally pointless. It's so disgusting. But they give jobs. They give jobs. Did you just hear that? Dollar General, $1,000 a day overhead. Make it higher.
Dollar stores are to be blamed for the area's crime rate, but rather that the design of the stores make them easy targets. Principally, these businesses deal in cash, as not until 2004 did Dollar General even take credit cards, making them ideal for a criminal of any level of experience. Beyond cash, overflowing trash outside, cluttered aisles inside, full window advertisements, light staffing, and outdated, poorly placed cameras, all hallmarks of dollar stores, both attract opportunistic burglary and make it difficult for police to safely navigate once they arrive on scene.
Good.
In Dayton, the problem got to a point where the police received an average of nearly 1,000 calls to respond to dollar stores every year. In response, the police
Okay. This is a symptom of pay-gating people's survival, and the only thing in their community that they have access to that gives them the things they want is this little fucking shitty thing. This would not happen in a system where their survival needs were met. Carry on, though. Continue to do so. What should we do about the crime? How do we stop crime? Well, maybe we should punish people for trying to survive. As if anyone has a choice but to try to survive. I choose the thieves and their survival over the corporations and its every time. Easy.
Began to proactively work with Family Dollar employees to establish policies and management practices, from upkeep to more frequent cash transfers, that would reduce vulnerability. But the training just didn't take, as employees turned over so frequently and cared so little about their near minimum wage employer that they simply couldn't be bothered.
True.
Such high resignation, in both senses of the word, point to another long-standing issue only exacerbated by the arrival of dollar stores. Along with further drying out food deserts and tempting crime, dollar stores provide areas with only a few meager jobs. The lean labor model may work for dollar stores' profitability, but it doesn't do much for the surrounding community. To keep labor costs low, a dollar store will only employ 6 to 10 people, and they'll only be paid around minimum wage.
So it's not enriching the community. It's not providing any sort of quality to them. The products that they get are dog shit. They're just the only things that they can get because the system has priced out any of the independent grocers that would possibly pop up. You can't have a mom and pop situation. There's no entrepreneurship. You can be a part of a corporation or you can be fucked. These are the two choices. This isn't how we should be fucking running this stuff. If you think this is how we should be running stuff, you like you're actually harming yourself. It's fucking crazy. I do not understand how you see a Dollar General and don't think to yourself, "Wow, that's a fucking blight."
Dollar General, for instance, pays 92% of its employees under $15 an hour.
Cunts.
By themselves, these numbers are bad, but they get worse once considering the grocery store that it might have replaced. That independent grocer provides around 20 jobs. The dollar store, less than 10. That independent grocer's profits stay circulating within the local economy. Dollar store profits are whisked away to faraway investors. With food, crime, and jobs, dollar stores aren't the root of a problem that impacts low-income communities, nor are they the answer. They're a creative response to problems that take advantage of problems and then exacerbate those problems. But perhaps the most foolproof evidence to articulate that dollar stores are just plain bad for rural and urban America alike is the fact that the communities themselves are pushing back against their advance. In response to the lack of pay and the danger inherent in working at Dollar General, employees in 2023 protested around the company's headquarters in Goodlettsville, Tennessee for better working conditions. In 2018, the city of Tulsa passed an ordinance to limit new dollar stores and instead encourage full-service grocery stores.
But still, that's not this. Man, encourage full. But it's just like more. It's just a different corporation that you're giving it to, and it's just so fucking fickle, man. It doesn't matter. They're so short-sighted.
In the move's wake, 75 communities have blocked dollar store proposals, and 54 cities have enacted limits on dollar store development. Of course, these numbers are minor in comparison to the tens of thousands of dollar stores now spread across the US, but each case of grassroots pushback serves as a powerful rebuttal. That these communities, now marked by the neon sign signaling that the rest of the world has largely forgotten about them, are a problem, and enough of a problem to bring communities together to fight back. Fundamentally, Dollar General and its close equivalents are simply following the economic path of least resistance. They're out.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. These capitalist slime. just settling into the little fucking cracks. Oh, well, I guess I can go here and make a buck. Doesn't fucking matter what happens to the community or the people. It's just about a fucking dollar, dude. This is your American dream. This is the fucking thing you fight for. Liberal cucks. Literally. If you're a capitalist, I mean, you failed. This is a failed ideology by any standard. This is disgusting. This is so fucking gross.
Competing local businesses, and they're doing it fairly. But that path of least resistance...
Fairly. They're doing it... Can we not call that fair? It's not fair if only with the backing of a corporate power can you accomplish it. It would be fair if independent grocers had the ability to operate in this system, but you can't. It needs to be a corporation. This is what happens when you make all these loopholes for corporations. You're like, oh, we're promoting business. You're not. You're not promoting business. You're making it so that some businesses have different rules, and it exacerbates problems. It makes everyone want to be that kind of business, and so it's all going to be corporations the whole fucking way up. So of course, right? It's the only way to go. Which is, of course, the only way to do that is to be unethical.
Leaves a trail of destruction that disadvantages individuals. That's because individuals' best interests can work against their best interests. People prefer having a dollar store and a grocery store and shopping at both, but in the process of doing what they prefer in the short term, they destroy that grocery store and create a scenario that is less desirable for themselves in the long term. So that's what government is for. It's an assembly of...
That's what government is for. But the governments are run by capitalists.
Individuals into a collective that can solve these strange mismatches between two sets of best interests. The American Main Street is a fragile environment. It's already taken a beating as big box retailers built up across the country, but that battle was fought from a distance. The one thing Walmart couldn't compete with was the locational convenience of small town stores for small towns. Dollar General can, and it is. It's got a simple yet unbeatable business model. It's a black hole that sucks up variety and vitality and litters the American landscape with these perfectly destructive beige boxes. Something I've noticed is that, despite being a very busy person, I always seem to have small little gaps in my day where I...
Okay. That's the... that's probably the ad for something. But, yeah, I mean, you know, we talk about this kind of stuff all the time. It's insidious, bro. This isn't... We don't have a viable system. It's just going to continue to cannibalize us. You need to fight. It needs to be about... Hi, Beaky. Hi, birds. Can I have some... Can I get little scritchies? Hold on. Father, I do not want to hear of the wheels of capitalism. I just want to kill us. All right, he's gone. I mean, we need labor rights. You need to get rid of the ability for corporations to involve themselves in politics. Like they can't be able to lobby. They shouldn't be able to give any money to any. They shouldn't be able to be donors or anything. Citizens United is a fucking train wreck. I mean, the whole thing's a fucking train wreck. We need to undo what the boomers did. They did a lot of dumb fucking things, and they just keep heading down this line. It's like, for the point of what? What is the point of it? So that 2,000 of us can be rich? I don't know if you've checked, but I'm not one of the 2,000 rich people.